In the headlines, U.S. transfers $20.6 million Abacha loot to federal government as total repatriation hits $332 million. Wike challenges Niger Delta governors to account for 13% oil derivation backlog paid by President Buhari. World Health Organization report shows 3.5 billion people suffer from oral diseases. And on the international scene, U.S. climate envoy John Kerry tests positive for COVID-19 at a COP27. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Hussaina Usman. And now the news in detail. The United States Department of Justice said it has transferred over $20.6 million to the federal government of Nigeria as part of the loot traced to former Nigerian military leader General Sani Abacha and his co-conspirators. The U.S. DOJ, in a statement on Thursday, said the fresh repatriation brings the total amount forfeited and returned by the United States in the case of approximately $332.4 million. In 2014, a judgment was entered in the District of Columbia ordering the forfeiture of approximately $500 million located in accounts around the world as a result of a civil forfeiture complaint for more than $625 million traceable to money laundering by Abacha, who became Nigeria's head of state through a military coup on November 17, 1993, and held that position until his death on June 8, 1998. In 2020, the department repatriated over $311.7 million of the forfeited assets that had been located in Bailiwick of Jersey. Last year, the UK government enforced the US judgment against the additional over $20.6 million. The US government said the repatriation was in accordance with an August 23 agreement between both governments to repatriate assets the United States forfeited from Abacha. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has challenged his counterparts in the Niger Delta to account for the huge sums of monies received by them as backlog of the 13% oil derivation since 1999, which was approved and paid by President Muhammadu Buhari. Wike threw the challenge at the 9 governors on Friday night when he spoke during a banquet organized by the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State for the PDP G5 governors who are in Port Harcourt for the party's state-level campaign flag-off on Saturday. The governor told attendees at the banquet that while he can point to the projects executed by his administration with the monies in Rivers, some of his colleagues cannot show any proof. Wike had, during the commissioning of the Nabo Graham Douglas campus of the Nigerian Law School in Port Harcourt, commended Buhari for approving all the monies accruable to the Niger Delta state since 1999. He insisted that the G5 governors cannot be broken as they are bonded to save Nigeria. Wike also maintained his position not to campaign for the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar in Rivers. Still in politics, former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, is confident that the campaigns are going well for the presidential candidate of the ruling party in terms of winning stakeholders to his side. The former Edo State governor spoke on Friday to newsmen at State House after audience with President Muhammadu Buhari. Kehinde Amodu reports.
The wrangling in the main opposition People's Democratic Party is playing out to the advantage of the APC, or so Comrade Adams Oshiomhole believes, and he has done some calculations to back up his claim.
You find out how many governors they have. We have 23. Now, if you add 23 with 5, I'm not saying the 5 are with us, but you have 23 with 5, I guess that is 28. You subtract 28 from 36. It means only 8 governors, in fact 7, because the other one in Abga is not there. So why he has 7 governors working for him, we have 23 working for us, and we have 5 who are neutral. You know, when you are voting, when I was in ILO, you vote for, against, or you abstain. Abstention is as good as voting against.
But more important to him is the goodwill the APC has garnered over 8 years of the Buhari administration, which has seen state governments receive what is due to them.
You watched Wike a moment ago saying that the money which PDP didn't even pay them since 1999, that President Muhammadu Buhari released that money to South-South governors, other derivation, in addition to FAC. And he said they couldn't even do anything as PDP governors in the South-South to claim those benefits. But President Muhammadu Buhari ordered that all the payments that were not made, all that derivation, be paid to them. And we can say this is what is using now to work.
The former APC national chairman also believes his party's presidential candidate is addressing the concerns of the electorate with his lucid articulation of what he intends to do for different parts of the country.
Because election is about interest. Whoever will address your interest, not religious sentiment, not ethnic sentiment, because hunger doesn't have religious affiliation. Unemployment doesn't have religious affiliation. Whoever will address your concerns, if you are a trader, whoever will make sure that the ports work more efficiently. You don't have to pay toll to all kinds of people. That is the kind of person you want.
Aside from politics, the former APC national chairman, who is also a former Labour leader, explains why his voice was not heard during the federal government dispute with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU.
The current Minister of Labour didn't invite me, and there is no need to go and do busybody. But whatever I could say quietly, I said. And I will continue to do that. But I think the most important thing is that the issues are almost resolved, or they are resolved. It's now about whether you should pay me fully, even if I didn't work, or I should be paid according to when I work.
If Comrade Oshiomhole is to be believed, for now, it is smooth sailing for the APC in the march towards the 2023 elections. But perhaps he's being too optimistic with his random dismissal of what other candidates are capable of pulling off. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
Despite campaigns against violence ahead of the Nigeria's 2023 elections, there are growing concerns and apprehension among stakeholders over the rising wave of political thuggery. The situation has raised concern among political watchers in Yola, Adamawa State, that some politicians may rely on thugs for election victory where they are not popular. Silas Lowang examines how politicians make use of thugs in electioneering. His report.
Although the new electoral law makes provision that address electoral violence such that it will no longer be a business as usual for political thugs to disrupt peaceful campaigns and elections in the country, but political violence is still not ruled out.
The issue of political thugs is illegal. Secondly, you don't need political thugs to win an election. But of course, you will have vibrant young men and women as adherents of the political party. You should keep away from drugs, keep away from all social vices, so that the society will be secure. It is when you have a secure society that anybody can even aspire or operate.
We cannot dispute the fact that some youth among us engage in political thuggery, or let me say they have been induced to act by some politicians. All I know is that some engage in political hooliganism and thuggery would regret because those politicians will not even remember them after the elections.
We are believing God that issue of beavers and all this will work. If that will work well, then it will by the beginning of the election, it will discourage the thuggery, and that will eventually die on its own. But for government fighting thuggery now, the best of it is for things to take place itself. As securities and all these things are on the other side, they will not be able to do it.
However, stakeholders said thugs have unleashed the mayhem during campaigns of political parties in recent past, showing that the polity is yet to mature and develop to address rising challenges facing its democracy.
Youth who are into politics with the aim of shaping their future would never allow themselves to be negatively used as talks. However, I hope and believe that the recent happenings in the polity would be a nipping bond, but our youth need to have a rethink.
In the last 2 decades, the spate of violence and political hooliganism has undermined the credibility of elections in Nigeria, frustrating effort to deepen electoral process. From Yola, Salis Lawan, Trust TV News.
Thank you, Salis, for that report. Moving away from that, the over 40 people, including women and children, abducted from Bakiawa village of Batagarawa local government area of Katsina State have regained freedom. The abductees regained their freedom after the payment of an undisclosed amount of money as ransom to the terrorists. Abdullahi Yamadi reports that the villagers had to contribute money and seek support from family and friends to pay the ransom to secure the release of the abducted family members. His report.
Some of the freed victims who returned with various elements occasioned by trauma, wounds from beating and chaining, are receiving medical attention at a hospital in Batagarawa. Usman Buhari, who is recuperating on hospital bed from wounds he sustained from chaining, narrates how he spent months in the terrorist den. The terrorists are merciless. We were beaten severally. Look at my legs. I was chained for days. At first, they demanded 2 million naira ransom from my relatives. But later, the negotiation went on for all of us from Bakiawa village. Bakia Abdul Qadir is amongst the freed victims after payment of 100,000 naira as ransom.
We are still living in fear as the terrorists always come around armed with AK-47 rifles. My prayer is for the quick return of peace to our communities, and I hope the terrorists will repent and live a normal life. There are still some abductees with the terrorists in the bushes. There are still cases of killings, abductions, rustling of animals. All is not well with us in our communities.
Though the Bakiawa abductees were freed, residents are living in fear of another attack, as according to them, the terrorists armed with dangerous weapons can lay ambush on the village. Bakiawa village, a farming community on Katsina Batsari Road, has been battling with banditry which hampers socio-economic well-being of the community and other neighboring villages. Abdullahi Yamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
You're still watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Cryptocurrency accepted as legal tender for tea. Do stay with us.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. My name is Femi Adebayo. This holiday season, StarTimes is taking us to a better level. You can step up your family entertainment with the StarTimes upgrade promo. You recharge 2 months on Nova Bouquet and get upgraded to Basic or Smart Bouquet. Recharge 2 months on Basic or Smart Bouquet, you get upgraded to Classic or Super Bouquet. And if you recharge 2 months on Classic or Super Bouquet, you get 10 days free on your subscription. This upgrade automatically qualifies you for a weekly draw to win 55-inch Smart TV, PA systems, home appliances, and more. These prizes are proudly sponsored by Longreach, Wayon, and Amaz. This promo is from the 15th November to 15th January 2023. Times and conditions apply. On StarTimes, every day is the best day ever. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. StarTimes. Entertain your family.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Trust News Update. Here is a recap of some of our major stories. We told you that U.S. transfers $20.6 million Bacha loot to federal government as total repatriation hits $332 million. We also told you that Wike challenges Niger Delta governors to account for 13% oil derivation backlog paid by President Buhari. Moving to more news, and in health, a new report published by the World Health Organization has revealed that 3.5 billion people suffer from oral diseases, with 3 out of 4 affected living in low and middle income countries. Director General of the WHO, Tedros Ghebreyesus, disclosed this in a statement on Friday. Ghebreyesus said oral health had long been neglected in global health, noting, however, that many oral diseases could be prevented and treated with the cost-effective measures outlined in the report. According to him, in a first-ever comprehensive overview, the Global Oral Health Status Report analyzed key areas and markers throughout 194 countries and shows that cases have increased by 1 billion over the last 30 years. He said the main reason was that many people do not have access to prevention and treatment. Disposing of solid waste could be an eyesore and a source of discomfort, but reuse and remolding plastic containers create opportunity for teeming unemployed youths in Abuja. In this report, Trust TV's Kabir Lawal examines the use of plastic containers and how youths reuse them to keep food on the table for themselves and their families. The report.
Plastic materials are easy to mold into a wide variety of bottle shapes, improving their appearance and utility. Manufacturers incorporate integral handles, measurement marks, and pouring lips into some types of plastic bottles. In addition, plastics can range from crystal clear to any shade or color, whether translucent or opaque, making products and brands easy to identify by sight. Plastic bottles require no paint. The coloring material is mixed into plastic resin, so it never runs, rubs, or washes off. However, youths in Abuja are now using plastic materials as means of livelihood. A cross-section of youth spoke to Trust Television, added that they buy plastic containers from boys or even women and sell to those that will recycle them for use.
Ya zamto kamar sana'a ne gare mu, ingantacciya wadda mun karike, ita muke ci, ita muke sha.
These are business. We fend our families with plastic business. For those who think what we are doing is dirty, it is not. It is highly lucrative. We don't beg for food or help from our peers. We at times go out to pick these plastics. At times, people bring it for us to buy. I have been into this business for 10 to 12 years, and it has been successful.
Mu dai je muna dan canza murya. Zan iya kai shekara 10 zuwa 12 haka.
The youth further said that engaging in business is interesting, as it keeps them away from bad influence and youth restiveness in the society. I'm among those that pick these materials to where they are being stacked. We go to where people dump them through nooks and crannies, and at times we pick them up on the refuse. After picking them, we now put them on a scale to buy them. Some people reuse plastic bottles to design unique houses like this one. Statistics, however, indicate that 1 million plastic bottles are purchased every minute around the world, while up to 5 trillion plastic bags are used worldwide every year. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Selling tea is a popular business in the northern parts of Nigeria. Some of these tea sellers are inventing unique ways of conducting and expanding their business in a bid to attract more customers and sustain it. Isa Ismaila completes reports on a vendor who is embracing crypto as a legal tender. Take a look.
Increase in business activities have changed the way people enjoy their breakfast. One of the popular spots for breakfast is a tea brewer joint, popularly called Mishai, who mostly run their businesses in makeshift shops. Unlike other regular tea sellers, Rabiu Halilu, who owns a stall few meters to Gwagwalada main market, has recently transformed his 2-year-old tea business by adding crypto as one of the means of payment for his services.
My
friends motivated me to join Pi Network, and I decided to put the idea into my tea selling business because nobody is doing it yet. I decided to collect a Pi for 500 Naira combo just to give it a trial. So far, it has been successful. In life, generally, one have to take risk. So I took the risk.
Despite being mocked by some of his friends for accepting Pi as a means of payment, he says he's determined to continue on the path he has chosen.
Currency is used by almost every business person in Nigeria. As for Pi, not everyone uses it for payment. People mock me sometimes, saying my business will crash and I'll go bankrupt. But I believe God is the only one who can decide that.
Rabiu added that since he started accepting Pi as a means of payment, he has not experienced any shortage in his business despite his little capital.
Honestly, all praises to the Almighty because everything is going well for me so far. Accepting Pi has not affected my capital, and what I have been doing financially has not reduced. No matter how long it will take before I benefit, if there is life, that's not a problem.
In this makeshift shop and on this table, Indomie is eaten and paid in Pi. This combo is 1 Pi, or equivalent to 500 Naira in Nigerian currency. But the big question to ask is, if Pi eventually gains value between the buyer and the seller, who is at the losing end? Or when is Pi even going to be valued? And on what price is Pi going to be valued? Pi, the cryptocurrency Rabiu accepts, is yet to be valued in the crypto market, as well as credible crypto platforms. However, Malam Idris Tanko, the chairman of Gwagwalada Pi Mega Mall, an umbrella body where Rabiu belongs, said the digital currency is already valued in Gwagwalada, and its value depends on the agreement between the buyer and the seller.
In Gwagwalada, it has already come in existence. We can see that we have a man that is collecting fine to give you shai, suya, pepper soup, beans, and the rest. And we have many that are collecting inside market in terms of cosmetics. I myself that I'm seated here, I do give shoes to people that come with their file. Mala Rabiu does, myself I do. When you come to me, I collect each file and give you a shoe at the rate of 1,000 Naira.
The tea seller, having carved a unique identity for himself and his business, remains hopeful that the digital currency will be valued and widely accepted by Nigerians. Isa Ismaila, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And looking at the foreign scene, U.S. climate envoy John Kerry has tested positive for COVID-19 at the United Nations climate talks in Egypt. Kerry's illness has added worries to the negotiations, which were scheduled to end on Friday, but have been continuing with no clear end in sight. Kerry's spokeswoman, Whitney Smith, said the envoy is fully vaccinated and boosted and is experiencing mild symptoms. According to her, he is working with his negotiations team and foreign counterparts by phone to ensure a successful outcome of COP27. And finally, in sports, former African champions Nigeria retained her stranglehold on the top sport in Africa following the latest FIBA rankings released by FIBA on Friday. The 2017 winners of the FIBA Afrobasket for men remained top as Nigeria held on to the 19th spot in the world, with Tunisia as the closest in the 22nd position on the world table and second in Africa, having dropped 2 spots. Senegal dropped a spot to be at 37 in the world and the 3rd in Africa, while 11-time African champions Angola is at number 41 in the world and 4th in Africa, courtesy of their 2-spot drop from the last ranking. Cote d'Ivoire is at number 45 on the world ladder, dropping 1 spot and 5th in Africa. However, history has been made as Spain is the new #1 team in the latest FIBA World Ranking for men presented by Nike. The USA holding the #1 spot for over 12 years, Spain is only the second team to top the ranking since its introduction in 2010. And that's it on Trust News Update. Connect with us on all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.